Alright, so I just posted a grade calculator that is specific to your class, so it should have the correct name for your course up at the top, whether it's the hybrid version, the online version, or my Math 119X. So make sure it says the right thing. I'll double check my links before I send them. But what you're going to want to do with this is you're going to open your grades in Canvas and input your grades into all the yellow boxes. Right now this should be set up so that all you can do is enter your grades in those yellow boxes. Now if somebody else is working on this at the same time, you may have to wait in line, so to speak. If you don't want people to see your grades, if you're logged into Google, it will show your face and show that you're the one who's looking at it. If you don't want people to see that, what you might want to do is just go to File, and then you should be able to make a copy. I will edit that so you can do that. So that way you don't have to. You can actually copy this over to your own and enter these without them being just out there. But if you don't care, especially if you're not logged in, like right now I'm in an incognito window, so nobody will know that this is me entering these numbers. So anyways, you're going to enter all of these different grades from Canvas. So I'll show you what that looks like. All right, this is going to look a little ridiculous. I'm in the student view and I'm going to go to the grades section. So in the grades section, you'll find all your grades. Do not grab these. I had some students grab these in one of my classes when they did a debrief. These are the exact different weights for the different portions of your grade. So what you'll want to do is you want to scroll all the way down. This is a test student who I've not entered fake grades for, so these are going to be abysmal. And you're going to want to grab the corresponding grades based on the names that are here. So classwork, then knowledge checks, then discussion boards and online work, project, and then you'll want to go and you'll have to go and find each exam individually and put those grades in, because you do need the individual exam grades. But the category grades you're going to get from the very bottom of this in the big black bold assignment categories in Canvas. Then you're going to go up and grab the exam scores that should be right above that. So once you've entered all those, one thing to note, as you enter your grades, I do max out category scores at 100%, and that is not something that Canvas does. So if you have gotten like a ton of extra credit on those knowledge checks, the highest score you want to put in for knowledge checks is still going to be 100. I am not going to give you more points than this. So you want to make sure that you're getting the values out properly. So once you enter all your category scores, let's say I did pretty poorly on that second exam because it was the first online exam, but then I figured things out and I did well on the third. It's going to tell you exactly what your current point total would be. You should just go ahead at this point, leave that project 100% because you can go back and edit it, and editing the project is going to be a heck of a lot easier than going and doing the final exam. So it'll tell you what your current grade is. And so right now, if you didn't take the final and you got 100% on the project, if you were this student, you would get a C. In fact, if you were this student and you wanted to figure out how much more of this project you could phone in, you could go ahead and say, okay, if I got a 50% on the project, if I do half of it, that puts me right under a C, so I better at least go get myself a 60. It's kind of like the what if grades in Canvas, except for, like I said, Canvas is slightly evil in that it won't let me max out scores at 100%, so it is going to give you an overestimate of what your grade is. So, looking at here, it'll tell you if it is possible for you to get certain scores, like an A, or if it is not, and if you've already earned something. So this is just an easy way to tell if that final exam is something that's going to need to be in your future. Now, if you're in the 119X or the hybrid class, since we did this switch to remote learning, most of the classwork and discussion board type stuff, 119X, you don't have discussion boards, but most of those items are still open and available for you to fix. So if one of these scores is pretty terrible and that's what's causing you to not be in a range that you want to be in, look at what would happen if you changed that score. Would that put you into something where it was much more manageable for you to get the score you wanted? And you'll know if it's worth going back in. Same thing with the knowledge checks. Knowledge check 15 and 16 that are up for next week are both optional. So if for some reason your knowledge check score is not great, you could also improve that score by doing those two particular knowledge checks. So there is some ways to improve these last couple of grades. The online class, I did close items for you because you did sign up for online. But I will be putting up, like I said, some ways for you to recoup a little bit in those grade categories this final week if you need that.